expecting to create financial freedom by copying and pasting what every other fucking coach is doing out there? Ooh, you created a lead magnet. Good for fucking you. So is 99% of the other industry. Whilst calm is an important aspect of calling in money, it is only one part of what it takes to truly create wealth. And so when we look at your nervous system, they've got your parasympathetic nervous system versus your sympathetic nervous system. So your parasympathetic nervous system is that part of you that pulls you into fight, flight, or freeze response. These are all the factors that is actually going to determine the amount of money that you call in. True thing that you're not looking at is I'm Alex Tripod, and this is the manifestation game. After coaching thousands around the world and becoming one of the most trusted voices in manifestation, I realize you don't get what you want, you get what you embody. If you're a high-achieving business owner who knows they were born for more wealth, more impact, more freedom, this podcast will unlock the codes. So let's collapse timelines. Let's calibrate to the frequency of your future self, because let's be honest, nothing is real. Everything's a hologram. Let's fucking go. Welcome back to another episode of the manifestation game, and full transparency today, you are not getting the regular Alex. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to go rogue. You're getting economy version of Alex because unfortunately business class was fully sold out on my way home from LA to Brisbane last night. And that means I had to spend 15 hours flying economy. And look, I know you might sound like maybe I sound like a total wanker right now. However, for someone that has used to flying business class and first class and hasn't flown economy for the last 3 years, it has taken a little bit of a toll on my vibration. And I realize I actually don't pay that premium amount for the luxe, right? I actually do it for my vibration. No different to why I spend a lot more money in a spacious hotel room rather than living in a shoebox when I go and travel. So anyway, let's get into today's episode, which today we are covering your nervous system isn't the reason you're broke. Honestly, I see so many coaches. It's like the industry is just drowning and has just taken this to a whole new level. And it's just like every coach is saying this right now. Every coach is saying that the number one reason that you're not making the money that you want is because your nervous system is not regulated to hold that money. Or when you come into an influx of 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K months, the reason that you find creative, unconscious ways to lose the money and deplete your bank account again is because you don't have a calm vibration. Your nervous system isn't regulated. And I'm here to say that your nervous system is one part of what actually influences your true wealth calibration. It's not the whole picture, right? So while you're trying to justify why you haven't made a lot of money and you're trying to understand why you make that 20 or 30K month and money goes out and you think, oh, it must be because I don't have a regulated nervous system, I'm here to call bullshit on that. I'm really here to talk about the truths of why your bank account right now isn't where you want it to be, right? So the first thing that I want to share with you here is when we look at your nervous system, right? Your nervous system is one part of your vibration. And when we really look at what's dictating the money in your bank account, it's actually your entire vibration. And when we look at your vibration, we're looking at the holistic standpoint of it's not just your nervous system, it's your belief systems, it's your thoughts, it's your identity, it's your internal dialogue. So what about the person that's been working on their nervous system? They've got a regulated nervous system, a calm nervous system, and yet their internal dialogue, their belief systems is still out of alignment because they're still vibrating in lack or fear or scarcity around money, or they're vibrating in unworthiness. You can have a regulated nervous system and still feel unworthy of 20, 30, 50K months, right? So we need to look at it, all of the factors that are actually making up your internal wealth programming, which is what actually dictates the money in your bank account. And this is where I want to say calm does not always equals cash. Calm helps from cash coming in. Absolutely. Calm is a lot better than a chaotic vibration. Absolutely. And also, let's just like land some home truths here. Do you think that I had a calm and regulated nervous system when I ran my first workshop 3 months into my fucking business? 3 months, no speaking experience, no idea how to run a whole day workshop, no idea how I was going to fill the workshop, just a passion and a knowing that I'm a fucking speaker and I'm a messenger, that I'm meant to be on stage, right? And here's the thing, right? Poof, I've had this desire, I've got this desire, and I know that I need to take this action in order for it to manifest. And I did the fucking thing. I felt the fear and I did it anyway. And so many people will get so surprised when I tell them that the anxiety, the fear, the doubt, the crippling anxiety that I would feel and that I felt for the first 10, 15, 20 workshops that I ran in my first 2 years of my business, people are surprised by that. But here's the thing, my nervous system wasn't calm before doing that big scary thing of me stepping into the frequency of courage. My ego wanted to trick me that it was unsafe, that I'm going to die, right? And this is why most people stay stuck. They stay in their current reality because they know the thing that they're meant to be doing. But then we're getting told in the industry, oh, don't take that action before you have a calm and regulated nervous system. What if actually it's nothing to do with your nervous system? What if the lack of money in your bank account has got nothing to do with how regulated or dysregulated your nervous system is, and it's got everything to do with actually your lack of action, your lack of your ability to feel the fear and do it anyway? And that analysis paralysis just keeps you stationary. And like I always say, fear loves to feed on stationary people, right? And you sit there and you allow that analysis paralysis to keep you trapped. So yeah, I really want to land that because again, like if I look at 2.5 years in my business, and I've shared this story before, I went from, and this is mind blowing when I look at this, guys, like I went from running on average 30 to 40, maybe tops 50 people in a workshop. And I'd run workshops all around Australia in my first 2 years of my business, raise your vibration workshops all around Australia. And then I got that call from someone who wanted me on their stage just after my 2-year mark in business. And I jumped from on average 40 people in a workshop to speaking in front of a filled out room of 500 entrepreneurs. Again, do you think that my nervous system was prepared or regulated to speak in front of 500 people? Do you think I was feeling calm? Do you think I was feeling safe? Fuck no. Fuck no. But guess what? I knew that this was my mission. I made the vision pull me into action, right? And it's really interesting. I still vividly remember before getting up on stage, and part of this kind of shits me. When I get asked to be on people's stages and like the intros are really long or like the speaker before me is running behind and they said that I'm going to be up on like at 2 p.m. but now it's 2:30 and now it's 3 p.m. And in that half an hour or 20 minutes delay or an hour delay, I still remember it so vividly. that I was literally outside just pacing up and down, practicing the beginning part of my speech because I was literally crippled in fear and anxiety that I was going to get on stage and look at 500 people in the crowd and literally freeze. I was like, I don't trust my channel. I've got to practice the first fucking paragraph that I say over and over and over and over and over again. So I don't look like a fucking dumbass on stage, right? This was literally me panicked and fear. My nervous system was nowhere near calibrated for 500 people. And so this is where I really want to share with you that, like, whilst calm, whilst nervous system regulation is an important aspect of calling in money and holding money, it is only one part of what it takes to truly create wealth and to really hold money in your bank account. Remember, it's about your thoughts. It's about your programming system. It's about your identity, who you believe to be, what you feel innately worthy of. It's your internal dialogue, right? These are all the factors that is actually going to determine the amount of money that you call in. So maybe it's not the fact that you don't feel calm, that you don't feel regulated. Maybe the true question and the true thing that you're not looking at is your lack of fucking action. Your inability to actually honor the downloads that are coming through. The whispers of the soul are streaming through that you keep fucking ignoring, and you're expecting to create financial freedom? You're expecting to create financial freedom by copying and pasting what every other fucking coach is doing out there? Ooh, you created a lead magnet. Good for fucking you. So is 99% of the other industry. Like, what are you doing that's different? You're expecting to live like the top 1% of humanity. You're expecting to make consistent 20, 50, 100K months. That's your desire, yet your actions are still the actions of what 99% of people in your industry are doing. So what's it going to take? What's it going to take to truly bust through your financial thermostat? Is it regulating your nervous system? Or is it regulating your nervous system at the same time as taking that big fucking scary action that is in complete alignment with your dreams and goals, and being okay with the fact that you're going to feel some dysregulation when you're doing something unfamiliar, that you're going to feel the panic, that you're going to feel the anxiety, that this is normal and it's part of growth and it's part of the ego that tries to keep you in the same reality. Quick pause, legend. If you're loving this episode, you need to watch the Manifestation Game movie. It's not just a film, it's an activation. If you've ever felt like you're doing all the things, vision boards, affirmations, rituals, but you're still not seeing results, this movie will shift your frequency, rewire your beliefs, and give you the missing codes. Watch it now using the link in the show notes. Now back to the episode. And so when we look at your nervous system, they've got your parasympathetic nervous system versus your sympathetic nervous system. So your parasympathetic nervous system is that part of you that pulls you into fight, flight, or freeze response. And that usually comes in when you're about to take that big thing. Oh, I want to do this launch, but my flight, fight, and freeze is coming up because I've got to launch something different and it's scary and I'm going to be judged. I've got to launch that 10K offer I have. I've got to launch that first retreat. I've got to invest 10K in that coach or 50K in that coach. I've got to quit my job. Whatever that thing is that you know that you want to do, yet the parasympathetic nervous system comes in and tells you not to do it, okay? Versus you've got your sympathetic nervous system. And so I just want to touch on this just briefly because, again, I'm all for a calm vibration. I'm all for nervous system regulation. And here's the real interesting thing. So when you look at your sympathetic nervous system, this is the rest and digest part of your nervous system. So this is where your nervous system and your body actually gets to process stress, okay? When you give yourself that time to process stress, obviously it's creating a lot more calm in your vibration, which is why I'm such a big advocate for transcendental meditation, because it gives your brain that space, whether you're allocating 10, 15, 20 minutes every morning, for all that chitter chatter to come up, all that internal dialogue, right? You're giving yourself that space. Your body is resting and digesting stress, okay? And that's incredible. And so when we look at creating a calm nervous system, this is why I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here, but I feel like it's needed. This is why my clients that are effectively plugging into 5 or 6 vibe boosters every single day, plus meditation, plus taking the big action, they're the ones that are getting phenomenal fucking results. And the reason is vibe boosters aren't just focused on nervous system regulation. Yes, we're creating heart-brain coherence. We're connecting you with the field of all possibilities. But at the same time, I've got emotive music in the background activating your heart field. At the same time, I'm repeating affirmations, putting subliminal programs in your subconscious mind. At the same time, creating a new internal dialogue. At the same time, creating a new self-concept. So it's covering all those things I talked about: internal dialogue, identity, programming, thought frequency, heart activation, brain coherence. So great. You want a great, incredible tool that's going to put you into not just nervous system regulation, but also upgrade your programming system and increase your level of worthiness and transform your identity. Go plug into one of my vibe boosters. Go create one of your own vibe boosters, right? And there's the key is, awesome, do that at the same time of getting very real with yourself about what courageous action step that you're not taking. Because again, the message that I'm really wanting to land here with this episode is that calm does not necessarily always equal cash. It's actually courage that will dictate the amount of money coming into your bank account. I don't know any leader that has continuously stepped into their courage and taken action on their soul unique downloads and felt the fear and done it anyway. I don't know any leader in the industry that has consistently stepped into their courage that isn't already 7-figure. Honestly. So instead of us looking at the problem being your nervous system, maybe the problem is, I'm pretending to actually step into my courage. I'm pretending to honor my soul downloads. I keep looking for the right time. I keep thinking there's going to be a time in the future when it's going to be the right time to run that first workshop, to run that retreat, to invest in that coach. And that's got nothing to do with your nervous system. It's got everything to do with you being a fucking pussy. Right? And yeah, I'm not going to lie and say that I want everyone leaving this podcast episode and doing that big, crazy action step, because at the same time, this is why I'm such an advocate for my bulletproof reprogramming system. So I talk about this in my movie. The reason that we do these tools, the reason that we are emotionally conditioning ourselves from the inside out is because we're cultivating the safety, we're cultivating the calm, we're cultivating the incredible level of self-belief internally first, and then that's creating enough safety that we can counteract the risk that we need to take on the outside, right? Because you becoming financially free is going to require you taking more risks. And the way we balance that out is by you creating more safety on the inside, right? So to wrap this episode up, maybe the question isn't, is my nervous system dysregulated? Am I calm enough? Is that why I keep making a bit of money and losing it? Or is it actually my entire wealth vibration? Where's my internal dialogue? Where's my identity? Where are my belief systems off? And am I actually taking enough consistent, bold action towards my vision to call in the money that I actually desire? Because it's actually courage that's closely linked to the amount of money that you will make. So as my homework piece to you, I want you to think of, maybe it's a soul little download, or maybe it's something that's come through while you've been listening to this transmission today. What's that thing? Maybe it's unique. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's a bit scary. Maybe it's that thing that you've been ignoring. What's that one action step that you know is going to push you to your edge, and it's going to require you to step into the unknown. It's going to require you to step into the frequency of courage. And maybe there's a part of you that's scared. Maybe there's a part of your ego that's telling you it's not the right time. But I promise you, I always say this, I'm going to keep saying it till the cows come home. On the other side of courage is where all the magic is. Because on the other side, when you did that thing that you thought was going to kill you, that you were going to die, and you come to the other side and you realize you didn't die, that level of pride, that level of identity shift, that's when the true magic happens. And that's your first taste of like, holy shit, I did the thing and I didn't die. That is true power. That is true magic. That's when you truly start fucking living consciously and not unconsciously from your mummy and daddy's programs. So I dare you, pop in the comments, tell me, share with me, what is that one action step that you're going to dare to do in the coming days or weeks? I'd love to know. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Manifestation Game, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning into The Manifestation Game. If this episode activated something inside of you, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube so you never miss a drop, because as you know, my mission is to raise the vibration of humanity on a global scale. So the more people that this reaches, the faster we shift into the new earth. For more daily downloads and frequency shifts, come find me on social media at Alex Tripod. Let's keep manifesting the shit out of life.